So some unforeseeable event occurs thus. You and those around you are the only people left in the world, and you have to start over. Or you're some alien who conquer our planet, and it's time for you to establish your own civilization. Don't worry, that's why I'm here. To give you a step-by-step guide on how to build your own civilization, let's begin. Location, location, location. The whole world is at your discretion. Where you set up your civilizational state is crucial for its development and prosperity. No matter how beautiful tropical islands are, their small sizes and lack of natural resource will prevent them from becoming an empire, so they are out of question. Unless you are a penguin, Antarctica is not a good choice either. So that left us with 5 locations: Africa, Australia, Eurasia, Middle East, South Asia, North America, and South America. Africa, the cradle of humanity. No matter where you live, your ancient ancestors come from here. So why not establish your new civilization here? It has a beautiful savanna, dense jungles, beautiful waterfalls, and a breathtaking mountains. It has a vast arable land to feed your people, an abundant natural resource to build your civilization. It has 40% of the world's gold, 90% of platinum, and 125 million barrels of oil. Seems like the perfect place to start your civilization. The ancient Egyptian and the Axumites built their civilizations here. So why not you? Here are the hurdles of building your civilization here. As we mentioned before, location is the most important factor to building your civilization. As geography blessed Africa with abounded natural resources and beautiful landscapes, it cursed it by placing them in difficult location, both to utilize efficiently and to protect them from invaders. First, Africa, bifurcated by the equator, is a tall continent instead of wide continent. This makes Africa a diverse continent in terms of climate. The north is a desert, the middle is a forest, and the south is a grassland. This is without considering the altitude difference. The uncultivable desert is 1/3 of the entire continent. The middle is a forest, which is difficult to cultivate, so it will leave us with the grassland of the south and northwest and the highland of the Horn, which is vast enough to cultivate, but far away from the cheap energy resources of the north and the west coast. Geography makes Africa a vastly difficult continent to navigate. It has a short coastline with shallow coastal water, which make maritime trade difficult if you don't know yet. It's difficult to build an empire without a maritime power. But all this is not the deal breaker for you establishing an empire in Africa. The deal breaker is the location of your oil resources, which is located at the coast of the north and the west, without any natural barricades to protect it from an outside attack. And the lack of navigable waterways through the continent to transport energy resources from the northwest to the south and east and farm products from the south and east to the west and north. So let's see if we can find a better location for your empire. The Middle East. The Mid-East is resource-rich with 48% of the world's oil resource and 38% of the world's natural gas. The Middle East is resource-rich. You're rich. You're Arab-rich. You can build beautiful cities with tall skyscrapers and vast roads with luxurious cars. But wait, you are not building a 21st century state. You're building a civilization from scratch, and when it comes to building a civilization in the Middle East, being a vast desert lacks 2 main ingredients: plentiful water and vast arable land.
That's a deal breaker, ladies.
Let's see if South Asia is a better option. South Asia is a vast subcontinent containing the modern-day India and all the Stan nations on the west, all the way to the Sea of Japan in the east, to the islands of Indonesia on the south. It has a vast arable land and huge water resource that came from the mountains of the Himalayas, which serve as a natural barrier to the population centers from any invader that come from the north by land. The many islands of the south provide with fishing and sailing. A good place to build your civilization. That is why it's the birthplace of the ancient Chinese and Mesopotamia civilizations. So why not you? You can build your own civilization that contains the Everest Mountain and the beautiful Shumfan Archipelago. What could go wrong? Well, even though South Asia is a good place to build and sustain ancient civilizations, it is difficult to build a modern one. That is because it lacks in natural resources like oil and natural gas, which makes it a mirror opposite of the Middle East. But that is not the main reason that takes this region out of contention for building a modern civilization. What put it out of contention is this: the Strait of Malacca. This is the Achilles heel of your civilization. Any enemy can clot this pathway through which you get your energy resources from the Middle East and crumble your state. Add this to the lack of navigable waterways through the west, the tsunami in the east, the potential earthquake in the northwest South Asia become a difficult place to build your civilization. Let's see if Australia does better. A vast continent far away from other population centers who may try to mess with you, adorable kangaroos, cuddleable koalas with beautiful beaches. A good place to erect your civilization, right? Well, 35% of Australia is a desert, and this desert is located in the middle of the continent, surrounded by the habitable land around the coast. This is the opposite of an ideal condition of building a civilization, which is the livable land is in the middle, surrounded by a natural barrier to keep those who wish to attack it out. The ideal temperature to build a civilization being between 52 to 59 degrees Fahrenheit, the low annual rainfall, and high temperature in vast part of the continent makes Australia unfavorable place to sustain a large population. Add this to the lack of natural energy resources and navigable water. Ways prevent the development of an empire in the continent of Australia. So let's try a place many empires originate from: Asia. The Roman, Turkish, Greek, British, Austro-Hungarian, and many other great civilizations call this place home. So why not you? You can establish your own civilization here, from the island of United Kingdom to the freezing wasteland of Siberia. This will be the largest cross-continental civilization encompassing many different time zones and climates. It will be larger than the Roman Empire, bigger than the conquest of Alexander the Great, and larger than the United Kingdom at its peak. You've got a vast arable land with enough water resources to feed billions of people. Enough natural resources like gas and oil from Russia to keep your civilization afloat. Most important, it has a favorable weather condition to build a civilization more than any other location. With its average temperature being around 55 degrees Fahrenheit, it's the perfect place to build a civilization. That's why people from this region able to build large civilization capable of colonizing other places we mentioned before, but it is not without its drawbacks. The most important being the location of its natural resource, with most of its natural gas and oil deposits located further east, far from the population center, and separated by the Baltic Sea in the north and Black Sea in the south, which make accessing it expensive and difficult. The other main drawback is, unlike Australia, the lack of vast ocean to separate you from other civilizations like South Asia, and the Middle East will leave you exposed to invaders. Nerveless, one of the best places to build your civilization. Let's see if we could find something better. The Americas, the final frontier. Let's start with the South. From the biggest forest and the longest river, South America has a wide arable land, vast mineral wealth, and plentiful fresh water, and beautiful landscape and geography. It also has rich fisheries and plentiful ports. Venezuela alone has the largest crude oil reserves worldwide, with 304 billion barrels. Bounded by three bodies of water, the Caribbean Sea, Atlantic Ocean, and Pacific Ocean, and the small Panama Canal, which could be defended easily to separate you from North America, the only other powerful place capable of attacking you. It's a wonderful place to set up your civilization. It's difficult to find fault with South America. The only shortcoming I could find is its proximity to the equator, with an average temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a much hotter than the ideal temperature to setting up a civilization. Let's go a bit north to see if North America fares better. From the icy cold islands of Canada to the hot desert of Mexico, encompassing the lower 48 of the United States, North America is a vastly biodiverse and beautiful continent, from seas to shining sea. It has the longest navigable river in the world, which provides the greatest natural transportation system in the world, with the largest contiguous stretch of arable land in the world, with the greatest natural oceanic deep water harbors in the world, with the United States coastline having the greatest potential for a port than any other place on Earth, with the mountainous desert of Mexico in the south and the ice-covered inhabitable regions of Canada in the north, with two oceans, the Atlantic on the east and the Pacific on the west, providing a natural barrier for anyone who wished to attack you. This is one of the best places in the world to set up your civilization. That was only the geography of North America. What put it over the edge is its geology. With a raw geological potential of 150.1 billion barrels of oil, it has the largest oil deposit in the world, with the largest natural gas resource of 2970, 3 trillion cubic feet. It has the potential to be the largest energy provider for the entire planet. Not only that, it has a large deposit of iron, gold, and lithium. Its natural resource is what put North America over the edge. Don't forget the latitude too, with annual average temperature of 52.7, which ideal for building a civilization. If you ever wish to establish a civilization on Earth, this is the place to do it. But location is only one condition to setting up a great civilization. The other important factor is demography. Who is on the land is as important as where the land is. Subscribe to this channel to watch our next video, where we discuss our second ingredient of a great civilization: the people and their culture. See you then.